Friday update on Mismatched, the 10th of December 2021. Kitty and Bebo seeing Anokhi. They ask why did she come back, is her wish incomplete? Anokhi says I had come here to complete my graduation and PG. Bebo asks what new blame do you want? Rima says Spirits Festival is going to happen, there is super cool crowd, we can make new friends and see talents, you also participate. Kitty says we will be the fest coordinators, just chill and watch. Shaurya comes and asks them to stop it. He asks, what's happening, don't you guys try to act smart. He says I have heard everything, if I see any student behaving such, then I will not leave you. We help each other, we don't fight each other. Anokhi and Shaurya see each other. She avoids him. He goes and asks how is the hostel. She says good, thanks, tell me if you want something else. He asks everyone to take off from classes and make the event a success, let's rock it. Anokhi calls him PS. Everyone looks at her. She says, yes sir. Gayatri says there are many girls, we don't know Shaurya's choice. Kanchan says his choice will be different, unique, just like him. Kitty and Bebo get Shaurya. He sits. Devi says you missed dinner tomorrow, I thought to try again to spend time together. They have drinks. He says to our happy and healthy Saberwell family. She says I am looking for a girl for you, I want you to get married, you have promised me. He says no, it's not needed. She says it's needed. They ask Shaurya to agree. Kanchan says Shaurya is well settled, you would be planning for your life. Gayatri says we want to know about your would-be wife. Shaurya says okay, that girl should be intelligent, not just book knowledge, she should be smart, wise, she should have her own take, fearless, she should have fighter spirit, she should be simple and traditional, her thinking should be modern, to whom I can tell my feelings, she should understand me, if I say sorry, then my self-respect don't get less. When she says sorry, then it doesn't affect my ego. Devi and Kanchan think he is saying about Anokhi. He says the discomfort should also be good, one with whom I can share my protein bar. He thinks of Anokhi. Kanchan thinks Devi thinks sharply. Maybe she didn't think. Kitty and Bebo say, it's a long description, we know about whom you are saying. He says nonsense, I don't know any such girl. Bebo says I am sure there is some girl. Kanchan says I think I know her well. Shaurya asks Devi to handle them. He goes. Devi says don't trouble him, no one will talk to him about this matter, this can't happen. Anokhi decorates her room. Shaurya says she studies in my college, no, this can't happen, how can I have such attachment with anyone? Tej comes to his room. He sees Devi angry. He jokes. She says you don't know what happened today. He asks her to say. She says I asked Shaurya about the girl he likes. He says get him married to anyone he loves. No one can refuse to us. She says we have to leave house and go to Haridwar if we get him married to that girl. Shaurya calls Anokhi. Rima coughs. Anokhi says it's late night, I don't take anyone's call. Rima says you can take Shaurya's call, he helped you a lot. Anokhi says I said thanks. Rima answers. Anokhi asks what happened, why did you call me? He asks are you at hostel? Is everything fine? Tell me if you need anything. She laughs. She says everything is fine. He says, good, you won't trouble me now. Anokhi asks did I trouble you? Did you call to say this, you came after me and gave me this room, what happens to you? Rima calms her down. Shaurya says you always trouble me, you think you are so important that I always think of you. Anokhi gets angry. She asks, why did you call me, did I do anything, why are you upset? He ends call. Anokhi says you get happy. Now, I told you, this is not possible. Go and sleep. Shaurya can't like anyone, he can never like me. Shaurya thinks. Rima smiles. Anokhi says good night, go and sleep now, we will meet tomorrow. Devi says Anokhi balas. Tej asks did you go mad? What's special in her, she is a desi girl. Did he really say about Shaurya? Devi says yes. Anokhi balas. Shaurya and Anokhi smile. Tej. Saying Shaurya said about that girl. Shagan also had these things. Devi says yes, Shagan and Shaurya were getting married. He would talk about Shagan. Now I get it, Shagan and Anokhi are same. Maybe he is seeing Shagan in Anokhi, it means he loves Shagan and wants her in his life. Shaurya says I don't like Anokhi. Kanchan teases him. Devi says Anokhi can't be like Shagan. Shaurya says Anokhi likes Ahir. Kanchan says maybe others think you like Anokhi. Tej says we weren't happy with Shagan's decision, she is out of here. Devi says we can get her in, we will do the best for Shaurya. San thinks of Astha's words. He says I know Shaurya well. He asks Gayatri about Shaurya. Kitty and Bebo talk about Shaurya and Shagan. Bebo says Devi will decide his marriage. Anmol comes to meet Bebo. She asks him to go. He says Kitty knows me. Bebo says yes, but hide somewhere. He says it's not a good plan. Kitty asks why did you open windows, AC is on. Bebo says I wanted fresh air, I have a headache, go and get medicines for me. Kitty goes. Bebo asks Anmol to go now. She smiles. Bati teases Ahir about Anokhi. Ahir thinks of Anokhi and smiles. Shaurya sees Anokhi in the student. Anokhi sees him. Rima smiles. Shaurya sees Kanchan and says, it's a pleasant surprise, come. Kanchan sees Anokhi. She says you forgot to call me, I got an email from the committee. He says yes, you get the ideas. She says I work hard to make the fest the best. He says yes, you plan well, I am here, you mentor others. She says your focus is somewhere else these days. He says no. She says I used to come for the fest always, I came to see the one who has snatched your attention, it's Anokhi. Shaurya says no. Anokhi suggests the Indian theme, me and my soil. Kanchan and Shaurya like her ideas. Kanchan says it's final. Shaurya says we should give equal opportunity to others. Kanchan says I think this idea is the best. Anokhi smiles. Shaurya says we were deciding to have a holy celebration before fest. Anokhi gets Ahir's call. She says sorry and goes to attend call. Shaurya says I have promised a lunch to you all. The girl says we will go for Chinese. Shaurya says all right, we will go to the Chinese restaurant. Anokhi goes back and says, sorry, I didn't hear what you just said. He says your focus is on phone, you find out your way. He goes. Kanchan stops him and says you should have told her, your choice is good, the way you spoke to her, it was wrong. Kanchan asks him not to fight with Anokhi on lunch. She jokes and goes. Anokhi says I won't go. Rima says we will go. The restaurant is good. Shaurya invited everyone. Anokhi says I won't go. Ahir speaks to Anokhi on call. She laughs. He says I am coming to meet you, to return your things. She asks what. He says I will meet you and talk. Everyone meets for the lunch. Anmol and Kitty sit together. Shaurya comes. He gets flowers. They ask for whom is it. He says a kid gave this to me on the way. I am thinking to give these flowers to Anokhi's team, let's order something. He looks for Anokhi and Rima. Maya says no, they didn't come.